again. So Bitcoin is up 8.5%, allowing FANTOM to bounce around 5% off critical levels. Let's get straight into the charts. As we can see here on Bitcoin, we were forming this wedge pattern, and here on the hourly, we got to the bottom of the wedge. It looked like we were going to break to the downside, and we managed to hold that level, and then now we've got a good breakthrough. We're now ahead of the important level of 41,659. Can we hold that level and head to the upside? Similarly, let's take a look at FANTOM, because here on FANTOM, we were creating this bottom. We know we had the issues around Andre Cronje. We ran down to the bottoms here at about 129, and now we've managed to get a good push up to $1.39. Very interesting move here on FANTOM. We've bounced off of some of the lows, and now we've got some breathing room, which is really good here in the immediate future. What is going on? Well, what is going on is that Biden he announced his executive order on cryptocurrencies. This has led crypto to really surge because he came in very favorably, and this is exactly what I preempted in yesterday's video. If you've not watched my video from yesterday, I explained that regulation is good for crypto, and I fully expect Biden to come in on side, and you can see he's come in on side. He's asked his team to go and get familiar with this, which is exactly what I said in the video. Nothing is going to come of this to the negative side. A lot of people are worrying and spreading FUD about this executive order, and there was no reason to be, because right now Biden has understood that the US can fall behind if we do not get on top of this and understand this. The US should know this because they learned how to be on top of social media, and they saw all the benefits that came from that from a technological point of view and an enterprise point of view, and no doubt they will not want to fall behind on crypto. Let's see if we can get his quote up. The United States must maintain technological leadership in this rapidly growing space, supporting innovation while mitigating the risk for consumers, businesses, the broader financial system, and the climate. Really good. In other words, he sent his team out and he said, you guys figure this out. This is really good for crypto, and we can see the prices are moving to the upside. But I've got some bad news. And that bad news is that FANTOM is moving up 5% on this news. Now, you've got Bitcoin up 8%, okay? You've got Ethereum up doing okay, 6%. You've got Atom up 8%. You've got Solana moving 7%. You've got Cardano moving 10%. You've got Luna up 15%. Avalanche up 7.5%. VeChain up 7%. FANTOM is lagging behind a little bit, and that is a little bit worrying. We know we've got the issues around Andre Cronje hanging over our head. I think that's, that's far-fetched. I think there's too much being made out of that. We've got to recover. And for me, this is going to prove itself as a great opportunity. I like using the example of Tesla. Many people told me back at the time, when one of the Tesla cars would crash and the driver would claim, oh, the Tesla was that mistake, it was the autopilot, but we know it was human error, right? Those always created FUD stories that the media would run with, and the Tesla price would fall. And I'd love topping up at those prices, and historically I was proven correct. And this is going to be another one of those moments. And if you guys need some reminder, here's Michael Kong, the CEO of FANTOM, and he said Andre was an advisor on FANTOM. He didn't build the core technology. The FANTOM's developers did, and they are expanding the team. I've seen reports claim Andre was a core developer or engineer. That is incorrect. So you've got it from the horse's mouth. This is Michael Kong retweeting a tweet here from Crypto Moj. Shout out to you guys. Just giving you some clarification on what's going on. But some more further bad news. And the more bad news is that FANTOM has fallen again. Here you can see over the last 7 days here on total value locked, we're down 37%. This is a lot, guys. We're sitting at 7.48 billion excluding pool 2. That puts us back in 5th position. But again, do we need to worry about this? Should this, yes, it's not good to fall. If we look at, click into FANTOM and take a look here, you can see on the chart, this is not good. Over the last few days, this is a big fall. This is not insignificant fall in total value locked, right? Billions wiped off simply because of what happened. People have become fearful. We've seen what's happened, okay? You can see here, we're down 73% over the last 7 days here on Solidly. SolidX down 64, Multi-Chain down 20%. These are huge projects. For them to be moving that much, 20 billion wiped off on Multi-Chain is over $1 billion in total value locked. There's a lot of money flowing out of these projects because of what's happened. But for me, I love these opportunities, and let me explain why. Because with these opportunities, what happens are, you can see FANTOM. One of the most important things we know is to look at the market cap to total value lock. Let me just bring that up so you can see that clearly here. We're sitting at a 0.4 multiple. That is absurd. Okay, guys, to put that into context, we're sitting at a 5 multiple on Binance. We're sitting at a 1.3 on Luna, which I think is sensible. Ethereum close to 3 times market cap. So if you're comparing to Ethereum, just pound for pound, there's a 6x differential that you're paying for on Ethereum versus paying for on FANTOM. So just for the existing total value lock, not looking at, you know, the future or things they can add or improve on, or even looking at the TVL that has just left the system, which I think is going to come back, you know, you can see we're hugely undervalued. Nothing here in the top 10 in terms of the total value locked is anywhere near this low valuation. Now, this is the one metric which initially made me cotton onto FANTOM as a hugely undervalued play. If you've not watched that video I made at the end of 2021, I'm going to link it up on a card here. Go watch that video. It explains it in detail for those who aren't sure. I actually do a little bit of a modeling exercise walking you through that. Not that type of modeling, but financial modeling. Okay, so you can look at here. Look at that. Polygon down 2.7, sitting at 2.7 multiple. You've got Kronos sitting at a 4 multiple. Nothing is close to FANTOM. Hugely undervalued for what it is, the actual value it's producing. And this is very similar to, you know, an earnings per share multiple you'd look at in stocks. Really important metric whenever you're valuing some of these layer 1 platforms. So what's in store for us now here on FANTOM? What are the key levels we need to look out for? Where do we need to get to here on the charts? I've got you guys. I'm going to explain all of that now, because ultimately this doesn't scare me. This does not scare me, because ultimately we're going to look back at this as an opportunity to buy a project again in the 120 to 140 range, which initially ran up all the way to $3. This is crazy. If we zoom out here on the daily, there's no reason to say that, you know, FANTOM should be at this price right now, apart from the wider market bleeding. And I seriously believe when Bitcoin gets moving, FANTOM will continue to move powerfully. It's going to shake this off, this period right now, and the next time Bitcoin has these kinds of days where it's 8%, 9% up, we will see our favorite altcoin start to move to the upside. Key levels now, if I switch back to the hourly, we need to get to 147. 147 is going to be a little bit of a safe ground for us. We need to get to this point and hold support above there, and then work our way back to 165. After 165, we've got 179. That's what I'm looking for here now. The risk to the downside is we do fall to 126. If we do, I'm going to nibble some more here at 126. Just full transparency, not financial advice. That is what I'm doing at 126. Now, very important, guys. Do not forget, tomorrow is the CPI reading on inflation. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Bitcoin reacts to that tomorrow. I'm going to make a Bitcoin video later in the day and probably spend more time in detail thinking about what's going to happen there. But in essence, we're going to expect some volatility tomorrow with that CPI reading. Remember, if the CPI reading comes in high, it's a high inflation figure, that gives Jerome Powell more of a reason to be hawkish, i.e. more aggressive on increasing interest rates. Okay, so really we want to see inflation starting to cool off, and if we get that, then we could see some good movements in the Bitcoin chart. Remember, Bitcoin is still being treated by many as a risk on asset. Okay, so overall, really good news here in the market. Executive order showing good news for Bitcoin. Bad news in that FANTOM's not moving as quickly as some of these other coins, but overall it's going to settle itself out over time. We know that news like this with Andre Cronje is naturally going to have an effect. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to link up the video explaining the Andre Cronje episode and saga, or rug pull, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to link that up here so you can find out and make your own decision on what you think transpired with Andre Cronje and him terminating his relationship with 25 key DeFi apps. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.